And we're back. I'm Griselda, and this is Real Estate Profits on Now Media Television. Let's keep building smarter together. And we're back. This is Real Estate Profits, and I'm Griselda, your host with Now Media Television. And we're back with Christopher Nudo, attorney from Integrity Law, LLC, really talking to us about estates, trust, and how do we do all that with the context of real estate management. Hello, Chris. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So the topic today is understanding the role of trust in real estate management. So many people are unfamiliar with how trust can be used in managing the real estate, and it often feels like a complex legal tool, and they basically shy away from that. Can you give us a little perspective as to how that works? Can you explain how trusts work in the context of real estate ownership?
Absolutely. So I always like to describe a trust as nothing more than a family contract. It is a contract that you put together where you get to dictate all the line items and things that are important to you that you want to have happen when you can no longer be in control because you either have become incapacitated or you've died. And so what I like to do is sit down with the client and say, how are you running your business today? How do you foresee the business transitioning and to whom you're going to transition it to? And how would you like the profits from that real estate to be either accumulated or paid out, and to whom and how? And then how long do you want to hold that real estate in as a package, as an investor package, or do you want to liquidate it and transform it into other investments?
Excellent. So now in our prior segments, you also talked to us about your very unique approach, and it's really this faith-based concept of getting to know the people, establishing trust, and really educating them and making them feel comfortable throughout the process. Can you tell us how you do that? Obviously, I can just tell from speaking with you that comes naturally to you. How do you make sure that everyone within your law firm is doing the same thing, basically representing you and acting like you?
Yeah, so there's that old adage about children, things are caught, not taught. And so the last thing we are here at the law firm is preachy. We hold our faith very near and dear to our hearts. And we just, try to live life according to the biblical model that Christ laid out. And so, just living a life of integrity, which, by the way, one definition of integrity is doing the right thing at all times, even when nobody's looking. And so that's kind of the standard that I try to model. And everybody within this great team of mine tries to model that as well.
Wonderful. And absolutely. And that is something very unique and very valuable. So obviously Integrity Law has been very successful, making sure that they're taking care of their clients and making them feel like a person.
Yes.
Now, on the real estate front, what are the benefits of placing real estate assets into a trust?
The number one benefit is the avoidance of probate. Probate is the court-administered process that a will goes through, or if you die without a will, your estate has to be administered through this probate process. A trust acts outside of the probate process, and so it is more efficient, it is less expensive to administer, and it can be administered more quickly. And it has many more, you can craft it to be far more flexible and complex than you can your traditional will.
So there's specific scenarios where using a trust is particularly advantageous for people who invest in real estate?
I would say a trust is always more advantageous than a will when you're investing in real estate. Even if you use the trust as your holding company, where ultimately all of your assets flow into this trust, then you have just one document that is crafted to care for the family, and that's what the trust would do.
Absolutely. Wonderful. So you've told us about trust, the benefits of, and obviously how you at Integrity Law and your team really get everyone's understanding, their values, their what is it that they want post life, obviously, making sure that their wishes come to life, right? That it is according to what they want to have happen. Now, how do our viewers get a hold of you? Can you share your website, or how do they get a hold of Integrity Law and yourself?
Yep, the easiest way is to go to our website, which is Integrity Law, and that's NTEGRITY law.com. Integrity Law.
Okay. And then you service what areas? I mean, you say you're based in Chicago, but where do you service? Only that
So
area, or is it a different
we
area?
we mainly service the Chicago and Chicago metro area, which is extremely large. But we have many contacts with many good colleagues throughout the country. So if we don't service that area, we're glad to make a referral to a law firm that holds the same values that we hold.
And so you have a network, and obviously you're referring people to others, and that's fantastic. How do you ensure that they're so obviously if someone would go to Integrity Law, like you've told a lot, shared with me here, how do we make sure that it's going to be the same feeling, the same trust factor, the same philosophy?
Well, for our strategic partners that I work with, we meet quarterly with these law firms and share our values, our approaches, and the way we do business. So I have those personal relationships with those strategic law firms throughout the country that I work with closely. Obviously, I don't have a strategic partner everywhere in the country. That would
Right.
be wonderful, but I don't.
Uh-huh.
What I do is many times I will vet law firms that I've never worked with ahead of time, uh, calling the firm, learning a little bit about their practice and how they approach things. It's not 100%. It doesn't work every single time, but we've been very successful in creating alliances with many very good law firms throughout the country and making strong referrals.
Yeah. And so you mentioned a lot of, we talked about trust, wills, estates. Now, can you give us a list of all the different services? Obviously, and I read through your bio, there's a lot of services that you provide. I want to make sure I didn't miss any. And then obviously, what's your client base like? Who are the organizations or people that you primarily work with?
So the areas of law we really focus on is the estate planning, which is the wills and trusts and powers of attorney. We
Mhm.
also do the probate side of it because, as you can imagine, there's a great deal of people who don't plan before they die. So we care for their families after their loved ones have passed on. We also do a lot of mergers and acquisition. That's business succession law, where individuals who own their own businesses die. The missing piece that a lot of people don't put together is that mergers and acquisitions and business succession law is just estate planning for people who own their own businesses. Those
Yes.
two things go hand in hand. So we do a lot of that. And then finally, we do a lot of real estate work, whether it would be on the residential or commercial side. All of these areas, these four areas, really intertwine together very nicely. Finally, we do a lot of work with not-for-profits, churches, and ministries,
Okay.
and we help them with their contracts and their tax issues and their bylaws and things of that nature. Just trying to support the Christian faith.
Wonderful. So now on the M&A front, so a lot of people, when they're doing mergers and acquisitions, they talk about succession planning. Is that what you mean by this, or is there beyond succession planning to make sure that not only successor while they're still, living with us, but beyond that? Can you tell us a little more about that?
Absolutely. So, as there is with creating your estate plan and then administering it after you die, succession planning and mergers and acquisitions is the same thing. For the investor who has just a few folks, or maybe they're by themselves, owning their business by themselves, making the plan ahead of time will ensure that the succession of it, either before they die or after they die, goes
Mhm.
according to their terms. And so mergers and acquisition and succession planning really are synonymous in with as we're discussing it here.
Absolutely. Well, Christopher Nudo, thank you so much for sharing your unique concept and really engaging with your clients and customers. Thank you for sharing about trust, estates, wills. So for our viewers out there, if you have one in place already, fantastic. But if you don't, contact Chris Nudo here, who can either help you themselves and or connect you with someone that will treat you like a person, as he mentioned in his Christian faith beliefs. Greatly appreciate you. And so you've shared your website. Anything else you want to share as to how our viewers can get a hold of you, Chris?
No, that's honestly the best way. At our website, they can either chat with a live person or call us or email us. Those are or they can even text us. So there's many, many ways once you get to the website to get a hold of us.
Okay. And once again, the website name is?
IntegrityLaw.com.
And yeah,
NTEGRITY law.com.
perfect. And I wanted you to spell it because I actually put the I in there before I was getting to know you, but integritylaw.com. Well, thank you so much. Love having you on our show. And thank you for sharing your wisdom with our audience. I'm
Thank
Griselda,
you.
your host, and this is Real Estate Profits with Now Media Television. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.